Hey, what's up, guys? It's Art Book Addiction here, and we're here with a new artist journey video, right? So today we're going to be talking about artistic honesty, okay? So what does that mean, right? Actually, first, please hit that like, please hit that subscribe, right? Check out my prints in the link below. It'll really help out the channel if you purchase one, right? Yeah, well, all that said, let's get into the ideas, right? So, artistic honesty, the best way to describe it is like a singer having their voice, right? Or like you as an artist having your voice, okay? It has to do with being, whether you're derivative or not, right? Whether your work is your own or if it's like, you know, like cobbled. I mean, like most people's work is cobbled from other people's work, right? But it's like the difference between being someone who makes their own songs versus who sings covers, right? Those are like the two extremes, right? Because like someone could be really inspired by somebody else's sound, right? But then like they kind of like, they're like, well, this is just a like lesser version of this sound, right? You know, and like, you know, sometimes that could be unfair, but I feel like real good artwork is made with the highest level of artistic honesty, right? And so how does that go into the real world, right? The way this works is, let's say when you're drawing, right? When you're drawing, you have a bunch of different possibilities of drawing, right? And most of the time, you're going to be using the framework that someone else gave you, right? And that usually, right, like if you're using that to like impress, you know, if you're like drawing to impress, right, that's usually the wrong idea, right? When you're drawing, you want to draw with like yourself, you know, like this is my real skill, this is my knowledge, right? And this is what I think is the best way to approach this, right? And that's not using someone's style, that's not trying to emulate someone else. It's just like, I don't know what I'm making and I'm bringing it out to you, right? This is just me, right? And I'm being honest, right? So, for example, right, I've had classes where you know, like obviously people like to perform, right? People want to appear as the top dog, right? I mean, that's just natural competition, you know, that's just the way it is, right? But to forfeit a true learning experience by trying to show someone you're not, right, will lessen your experience, right? So like it's very hard to describe because like it has to do with your like what you've absorbed as an artist, right, from different people, right, and like how much you absorb and how much you put it in there, right? So let's just like for another example, right, let's say like you're doing a class that's about like a concept art class, right, and you don't really have a style yet, right, and so you lean on the Blizzard style, right? You lean like you have this artist and you're like, I really like his style, I'm just gonna try to emulate him but apply it to this concept, right? And that's just like that just visually, right? You know, the artist, right, who made that style, right, or the original artist, or people who are like, you know, like higher skill, right, or more artistically honest, right, the people who really made that style work, they know the framework and the mentality right, that it takes to create that work, right, to make it sing, right, to make it like feel the way it does, right? Whereas you just know what it looks like, and you're just trying to emulate it, right, without knowing the framework behind it, right? And when you do stuff like that, right, your work will usually look like oh, it's like that, but it feels hollow, right? It's like have you ever seen work and you look at it and you're like, well, that like it's good, but like it just doesn't have any heart in it, you know, right? And that has to do with how much care someone puts in, like how much like cynicism is in the work, right? For lack of a better term, and how much honesty is in the work as well, right? So I appreciate people who are artistically honest, right? Because usually they will have a really, really good idea, you know, and a great concept, but the style and the skill may not be there yet, right? But you could tell that they're trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by artistic honesty. You know, when you're making something and you're like, I have an idea, I genuinely like it. You know, I don't really have that style yet. You know, but I'm gonna go for it and try to apply what I know, okay, into that work, right? And that's when you're being artistically honest, right? Where you're just like, I don't know exactly what I'm making. I don't know really what my style is, right? Because like, you know, style comes with time. People want to find style right away because they want to have something that sells, right? But it's never gonna sell if it doesn't have the heart, okay? Because when people like a lot of people, they can see artwork and then they can like especially for an artist, right? If another artist looks at your work, right, and then they're like, I like it, but there's something like missing, right? I think that's the worst one. That like as an artist, imagine like working really hard, and like you're like, oh yeah, you know, I want this to work, you know, but then like someone looks at it and they're like, I mean, I see it, but like, you know, it's like it's good, but like it's missing something, right? And that's the soul, right? That's what happens when you are being artistically dishonest, right? And like the problem is that like this can be built into you, this can be wired into you, right? Especially industry artists, right, who have been you know, taught to draw a certain style, you know, be this company ship, right? You know, like just do this style, right? And then like later on you don't know any other way to draw, right? And then as a result you look derivative of other people's work, right? And you're like, well, they're just trying to work off this style, you know, and then you don't know what your voice is, right? That's a very hard spot to be in, right? That's why I feel like from the beginning, from the start, right, it's better to be artistically honest, because once you've like you're like, you know, you're finding your voice, you're finding your style, and as you get better and better, and you get better at your own voice and listening to yourself, your art is not only honest, but it's skill-wise better, and it doesn't look like anybody else's work. You know, you look original, right? And not only just original, but you're original and your work has heart. You know, it's alive. It like the characters, they move, they have a heartbeat. You know, you could tell they have personality. You know what I mean? And you have your own design aesthetic, right? And like in the long term, that's what makes the big things. You know, that's what makes like Spider-Man, Batman. You know, that's what makes what are some other big series? You know, like Phoenix Wright. You know what I mean? I don't know why that was so big, because I don't know. Phoenix Wright is a big inspiration for me. So and what I'm creating right now. So it's like that's kind of funny. But things like Mass Effect. You know what I mean? There's an original, like, you know, you could say Mass Effect is like, oh, it's kind of like this, kind of like that, right? Kind of like Star Trek. You know, it takes a lot of inspiration from it, but it's not a copycat. You know, it takes like, you know, like here are some things that I like about this, you know, things I like about that, you know, and then you put it together, right? And then you, okay, but then you put the heart, you know, the, like, what does my heart want to say? What is, like, you know, what is deep down in me, you know? And that's what makes, like characters, you know, that's what makes really good creations, you know what I mean? A painting that's gonna last, you know, artwork that's gonna, you know, touch the hearts of other people, you know what I mean? And then when they see the work, they're like, oh, I see it, dude, it moves, dude, like I can see this character, oh, and then they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that, right? Like, if that's a really good way to know, right? If you can, like, if you show your characters to someone and you explain, like, oh, this character is like this character is like that, you know, and then, like, you could see them and then you could tell about their interactions, right? And then someone else is like, well, I like, and then they could see separate interactions between them, right? And then, like, they're like, oh, they have ideas, right? That's how you know things are starting to move, you know. You have ideas that are like they move on them, like they live on their own, right? They have their own soul, right? So they, like, so even you separated from it, right? They are alive, right? And that's what it takes, you know. That's what it takes to make something really, really good. And what it takes is real artistic honesty, right? So yeah, guys, I'm telling you, if you guys are just starting out, right? If you guys are just starting to get into this area, right? Into this zone, please be artistically honest, right? And it's not bad to take from other people, you know, like, but, like, what you want to take is not what they draw. It's their ideas, okay? How like, what are they thinking about, you know? Like, when you see someone draw, right, or you're talking to another artist, ask them, like, hey, what do you think about, like, before you start something, like, what's the thought process? And when you're drawing it, what is the thought process? Like, what is your design philosophy, right? Don't think like, oh, this character looks like this, so I'm gonna draw them like this, right? I'm gonna emulate the style, right? No, think about what the artist says about them. Well, like, I want this character to look like this, right? And then their story is this, and so to enforce that story, I do this, and this, right? Or, and then, like, you know, because I think I like this type of aesthetic, I draw like this, and then that helps bring the concept to fruition, right? And that is way more important, right? That is, like, the key, man. Okay, just copying a style, like, from visual, right? Or even, like, if you've learned from them and, like, you're like, you don't want to take too much, because then you become a clone, right? And nobody wants to be a worse version of another artist, right? You want your own voice, you want to have your own creations, right? And you want to have artistic honesty, okay? Yeah. I think, for right now, I think we could end the video here, guys. I'll be referring to artistic honesty again and again, you know. To me, it's very, very important for an artist to have. I think, yeah, I think it's everything, you know what I mean? Like why be an artist if you're not going to be honest about it, right? But yeah, with that, I think we can end the video. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment. Tell me how you guys feel about artistic honesty. Do you feel artistically honest? Do you feel like you're kind of making your voice, you know? Or do you feel like you're like, oh, maybe I borrowed too much, you know what I mean? Like, there is a balance, right? Ring that bell for notification. Check out my prints in the link below, right? All that bullshit. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks a lot.